Dear children, today we will learn the poem Abou ben Adhem. It is written by Hunt. He was a romantic poet. Romantic poets lived in the second half of the 18th century. Their literary works and their description that excite thoughts and emotions beyond ordinary experiences. Here in this poem also we can experience that. This poem is about a divine encounter between an angel and the Sufi saint Ibrahim ibn Adhem, in English Abou ben Adhem, who was the king of Bak but renounced the throne to become a Sufi saint. Here, this poem is a narrative poem set in a Middle Eastern country. Here, the poet uses the storytelling technique to convey a profound reflection. Loving one's fellow man is perhaps more virtuous, if not at equal value with loving the Almighty Himself. Let's see the poem. Abou ben Adhem. Abou ben Adhem, may his tribe increase. Here, the first word of the first line is the same thing which is given in the title of the poem. It says it is the central focus. So, Abou ben Adhem is the central focus of this poem. And it's in bracket. Some words are written in brackets. What does it mean? May his tribe increase. It means let the world have more men like him. Who? Abou ben Adhem. Why? Because he was a man who lived a righteous life. And group of people who actively love their fellow ones by showing compassion, empathy, and selflessness should increase in the present world. That is expected by the poet over here. So it's mentioned, may his tribe increase. Tribe means a group of people, and it's not that his own generation. That means same kind of people should increase in the world. That is focused in this first line of the poem. Here it's a narrative poem, an event which took place in the life of Abou ben Adhem is described in this poem. In the second line, awoke one night from a deep dream of peace. Who awoke one night from a deep dream of peace? Abou ben Adhem. And a deep dream of peace. This again says he was a man who did not have any disturbance, no depression or no sorrow he had. So he was in a deep and also peaceful sleep. And he awoke. That means all on a sudden. He didn't expect something, and all on a sudden he got up from his sleep, and it is about one night, and saw within the moonlight in his room. What did he see? And where did he see? He saw in his room, and also it is mentioned that night was having a bright moonlight. So in his room the moonlight is there, And also he was seeing something in the moonlight. And what was it? And in the moonlight, making it rich. That means already it was moonlight in the room, and making it rich. That means more bright. Fill the room with a sense of brightness, more of brightness, and rich. That is, already it was filled with moonlight. Above that, the light was making the room more rich of brightness. And like a lily in bloom. Here, the poet is using a symbolic, a simile. Like a lily in bloom. What was like a lily in bloom? And it was bloomingly, that means pure and loveliness, and bloomingly with a bright and blooming flower, like a lovely look. Who was there? An angel. So Abou bin Adhem had a vision. And here again, imagery is used. A vision and bright moonlight, and made that light more rich by someone's presence. Whose presence it was? It was the presence of an angel. It was like a lily in bloom and lovely look, bloomingly by the presence of an angel. So the room is looking so lovely. And what was the angel doing? An angel writing in a book of gold. An angel was holding a book which was a book of gold. That means precious metal is mentioned. That means that book was so precious, valued. And book of gold. What book he was holding? He was holding a book of gold. And how and what he was doing there? Exceeding peace. So Abou bin Adhem was in exceeding peace. That means excess of peace. That means he was not at all disturbed. Why he was not at all disturbed? He was a righteous man. He lived a life which was pleasing to God, who was his creator, and he believed that nothing he has done wrong. And that thought made him so peaceful in his mind, exceeding peace. And when he saw an angel in his room, he was not at all disturbed. He knew very well presence of angel will be for some good. So he had made Ben Adhem bold. So he became more bold. Why he was so bold? Because he didn't do any mistake. He knew very well that he did not do any mistake, and there won't be any such thing will happen in his life which will disturb him. And to the presence in the room, he said, so what he is doing there? Seeing an angel looking like a lily in bloom, that means lovely, bright, and he was so bold, and he was not at all disturbed by the presence of an angel. And what he was doing there? Unto the presence in the room, he said, unto the presence. What was the presence of there? To the angel who was present there in the room, he said something to him. And what he said, what he asked, what readest thou? Here the poet is using the Old English. He asked the angel, what was he writing. So the angel answered. Before the angel answered to him, the vision is the angel raised its head and lifted up his head. Raised his head means lifted up his head, and with a look made of all sweet accord. There was a sweet smile on the face of the angel. And the angel answered, the names of those who love the Lord. So, what was the answer for the question raised by Abou ben Adhem? The angel answered, he was writing down the names of people who love the Lord. Lord is addressed to the God. So, the angel was writing in the book of gold the names of the people who love the Lord, love the God. And see the immediate next question raised by Abou ben Adhem. He was so bold. And his mind won, said Abou. He knew very well that his name will be there in the list what the angel was writing. So he is putting up the question, and is mine one? I hope mine is there. Said Abou. Nay, not so, replied the angel. But the angel replied, nay, not so. It is not there. Your name is not there in the list. It disturbed a little. Abou was little disturbed, but Abou spoke more low. Just he spoke low, but cheerily. See that? He spoke little low, his voice gone little down, but cheerily still. But he was so cheerful. He was full of peace in his heart. And said, I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men. So he is requesting the angel to write down his name in the list of people who love their fellow men. So this is an event which took place in the life of Abou ben Adhem in one night, and in that night he had a vision of an angel and their conversation. The angel wrote and vanished. When Abou ben Adhem requested the angel to write down his name in the list of people who love their fellow men. So the angel wrote something and vanished, disappeared. So that night vision is over. And the second night, the other night, the next night, it came again with a great awakening light. The angel came again to the same room where Abou ben Adhem was sleeping. It came again with a great awakening light. Underline this. So the next night, when the angel came to that room, how it looked? It was great awakening, more of brightness. Great awakening light means more of brightness. And showed the names whom love of God had blessed. Here he brought the list. He was not writing or not holding the book of gold in his hand, but he was showing the list. To whom? To Abou ben Adhem. And In that list, what was there? Names whom love of God had blessed. That means the name of people who God had blessed. And lo, see, exhortation. And lo, see, Ben Adam's name led all the rest. For the great excitement of Ben Adam, his name was on the top. Adam's name led all the rest means his name was on the top. His name was written first. And rest of the other names were following his name. So, there are two nights vision mentioned in this poem, and by this poem the poet wants us to he urges to place love of humanity at the forefront of daily life. What the poet wants to say, love of humanity is the foremost thing in our daily life. When we do so, we will be brought more closer to God. So, the poet wants to say that only lip worship. What do you mean by lip worship? Outward spiritual activities, showing to others that we are so pious. We follow all the rituals, rites of the religion, and doing all the outward spiritual activities, but not having any kindness, compassion, love, or empathy towards others will not help. If you have love of humanity in you, that will bring you closer to God. There is so much religious difference in these days, we know at present. So, this poem is very relevant. We should look forward for the love and goodness in human being rather than outward spiritual activities. So, from this poem, as I have said, literature will teach us many things. It reminds and it awakes our thoughts. And this poem reminds us our personal responsibilities, what one should do. And the poets also emphasize the specific distinction between love of humankind and love of God. They are indispensable from one another. Indispensable means inseparable. So, when you have love of God, surely you should have love of humankind too. Once you have love of humankind, naturally you will have love of God. And devotion to God and love for fellow men, that is very important. Devotion to God is foremost. Along with, you should have love for fellow men. True devotion. Devotion means the pious activities, religious activities. True devotion to God is not complete as long as you don't have fellow feelings for other men. When you love your fellow men, you become worthy to be loved by God. That is the focus in this poem. If you love your fellow men, you become worthy to be loved by God. The last line, second last line, and show the names whom love of God had blessed. So the poet insists that God loves the people who love their fellow men. So it is insisted in this poem, love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is a commandment. Commandment means we should obey. So, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If we follow this in our life, surely we will be loved by God. So, children, I hope you have understood this short poem and go through the text and try to use the text words when you give your answer in your examinations.